Championship playoff final. Brentford versus Fulham.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. We're at Wembley once again for the Championship playoff final. There are no timestamps because we don't need to, because there only is the one game. So I don't need to waste any more time. We can just get straight into this. Thomas, let's have a look at this match.
Brentford versus Fulham. The Bees versus the Whites, Ian.
It is the Bee. They're the Cottages, aren't they? It's some weird nickname based on Craven Cottage. But yes, it is indeed, Thomas. I think we're pretty split on who we want to win this game. So I think you're going to be backing Fulham. So I'll let you lead off with a bit of Fulham.
Right, so Fulham were really good in the first leg. They won 2-0, but in the second leg against Cardiff, they lost 2-1. But they easily did enough to get through. And watching that game, the entire time, I just had this feeling like Fulham know they're going through. They know they're not going to be bad enough to be beaten by this Cardiff side. Sloppy defending gave Cardiff hope. But it was a backs-to-the-wall job for most of the second half. Fulham wasted chances. They were drawn into a game Cardiff wanted to play rather than one that they wanted to play. Cabano's goal is really good. I can't remember who puts the cross into him, but he's given so much time. But Cabano does this fantastic run off the back, just nips in front of his marker, lays it into the goal. It's 1-1. They end up conceding again, but they go through. And as you said in the notes, it doesn't matter as long as you go through. Kind of assume Mitrovic will come back, which will be a huge lift for the final. Fulham have a really talented midfield, and you can see how important a striker like Mitrovic is going to be to link the play together. On paper, I'm really excited for a Brentford-Fulham match. These are the two best sides probably in it, and it'll be great to see them play each other. Hopefully we can have a basketball game, Ian. A basketball game on a football pitch.
Exactly. 111 plays, 115.
Yes. Fulham have a lot more experience than Brentford, especially in this. They were in the Premier League a year ago. I'm going to go for a Fulham win. I think they're going to make it back to the Premier League at the first ask. I think they're going to win 2-1. Yeah,
well, it certainly does feel like it's going to be a tight game. I really hope you do get like an end-to-end game, though. I hope it's not just going to be like a nervy, cagey kind of final. And I get the feeling it kind of will be, and it'll hopefully there'll be like an early goal that will just kind of kick those nerves out of the team.
I think the nervier it gets, the worse off it's going to be for Brentford. Yeah. I think Brentford need to come in flying.
Yeah. But they certainly did come in flying against Swansea. So nice little link there, Thomas. They were much better in that second leg than they were in the first leg. And obviously it does help the fact that they got 2 goals really, really quickly. Bad defending by Swansea, and they got carved open by Brentford, really. It was a wonderful first half performance by them. Swansea, as I say, weren't bad by any means. It very much was a fast-paced open game. Brentford could have quite easily got in winning, leading 5-0 at half-time as well. They had so many chances. It looked like it was going to be quite comfortable, really. It was a fantastic performance. It was only like they gifted Brewster a goal with like 15 minutes to go that made it like kind of nervy and kind of edgy. But much more like the Brentford that we've seen for large parts of this season. They really turned it on when they had to. Watkins, he always scores, doesn't he? He doesn't normally go 2 games without a goal. And Mbuemo and Marcondones got the goals for Brentford, but I really think Ben Rama was the key man. He was so good in the game. I think he hit the post and the bar, set up a goal, and as I say, should have had 2 himself. He's been one of the best players in the Championship this season, Tom, and I really think he showed it when Brentford really needed it. And above all else, the kind of like romance of the game as well, if you like, the fact this was the last game at Griffin Park. I don't normally like to talk about fans being there because I find it a bit boring at this stage, but if ever there was a game fans should have been there, it was for this one. Such a shame that over 100 years at Griffin Park and the fans aren't there for the final game of it, but at least Brentford put in a performance to get themselves to Wembley, to give themselves a chance to getting to this final. And I really like Brentford as a football club, and I think that's sort of really given me clouded judgment on what I think the score will be, just because I really want them to get promoted. I really think they have done such an excellent job of making themselves more competitive as a club compared to like much bigger clubs in the Championship. They've used comparisons towards Moneyball when talking about Brentford. It's not like a direct comparison to like the Oakland A's or anything like that, but it means in terms of the way they've tried to make themselves competitive, the players they've gone after, the way they've structured themselves by like getting rid of an academy and having a B team. It really shows that they've really like looked at it and not just tried to copy everybody else. They thought, well, if we're going to get up there, we need to do it a different way because we can't just like spend shitloads of money on wages or anything like that. And they sell so many players every year because they just need to. And so it's a constant, like, refreshment of players coming in. But anyway, I'm boring everybody. It's time to get to the score. You should go and look up Brentford on your own time. You're not here to listen to me do it. But I do think Brentford are going to win, Tom, and I hope they do win as well. I'm going to go the reverse of your score, and I think it will be 2-1 to the Bees.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a really good game. I can't see Brentford winning if they don't score 3 or 4 goals, though, if I'm being totally honest.
Really?
Like, I think that there's...
They've been so good. They have been a good side defensively this season, though.
I know, but it's their style of play is to kind of like flow forward, and you saw it in the Swansea game. How like when they get it right and they're attacking, it's just chance after chance. They get into good areas. They have players, and I feel like if they're on really good form, they're going to be able to beat this Fulham side, who've already been kind of dismantled a little bit by Cardiff on set pieces in the first place. And I think if Brentford win, they're gonna win like 3-0.
But you don't think...
Heard it here first, folks.
So what score are you going for? You can't
Fulham to win 2-1.
You can't name both teams winning and think you've covered yourself.
Look, either Fulham will win, Brentford will win, or it will be a tie.
In which case it will go to penalties and one of the sides will win.
Exactly.
Got it. You heard it here first, folks. Okay, that's what we think the final's going to go. We'd really like to know what you think. Please put loads of comments down below. As always, we're really interested to know whether you think we're prophets of knowledge or whether we're talking absolute waffle. Thank you, as always, to everybody that likes and subscribes to the channel. It really does mean a lot to us. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notify bell. And I'm going to throw it over to Tom to give us some shout-outs.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank Julian Bone. He says he's a big Fulham fan, and they're in the finals, so it should be exciting. William Golder, we miss you as well. I wanted Swansea in the final as well, but they didn't quite get there. Robert Allen says Brentford will choke again. Yeah, tough times. Kurt believes it will be a Brentford-Fulham final, which he sent before the match is finished, and he said Brentford will win it 1-0.
Well, it's pretty obvious to do after the fact, isn't it?
Wolfblood plays one. God, saying these names out loud is actually the hardest part of this whole thing. He's saying up the Fulham. He said it'll be a Fulham-Brentford final. Another one, Callum Davies said, come on, Fulham up the white. Shane O'Donnell had Brentford winning 3-1 and Fulham winning 2-0. Unfortunately, Fulham didn't win, but both your teams went through. Game. Oh, exactly. Milo Metven is a Fulham fan, and he says they'll win the playoffs with ease. Well, they're doing pretty well at it right now. James Lee had a 3-1 Brentford Swansea prediction, but then he predicted Fulham to win 2-1, so that kind of
well done for the Brentford one.
Yeah. Alfie Joe TV had Fulham to win 3-0 and Brentford to win 2-1, and he said in the final it will be a Fulham-Swansea match, but obviously that's not happening, but good call on Fulham.
Got it half right.
Exactly. My God, we had a lot of comments on this video. Rory Downing had Swansea to win 2-1 and Fulham to win 1-0, so yeah. Much like me, you got both results incorrect. Fulham FC 4-2-3-1 had a Fulham 2-1 win over Cardiff. Again, didn't quite pan out like that, but thanks for your prediction. And Nicholas Clark-Williams had Brentford 1, Swansea 1, Fulham 3, Cardiff 0. So, yet again, didn't get any of them right, but the final will be Fulham versus Brentford. All that's left for me now is to do what Ian just did, and thank you all for liking, subscribing, and commenting. And we will see you next season, which is about 3 weeks away.